with Andrew, and you've got a 2010 Wrangler,
Correct. 2010 JKU.
and it's a Rubicon.
Rubicon.
Yep. Okay, tell us how you bought it and how it's different now, and what have you done since you bought it?
So I've had it for about 4 years. It came with front bumpers, a Terrafix 3.5-inch lift already done. So I bought most of it already done. A couple things that I've done is re-geared it to 513 just to give it a little bit more power when off-roading.
Did that make a big? So it's off-roading or on highway or both?
Both.
Okay.
So quite a bit off-roading, just get you a little bit of power to go up the hill. Another, not something I cared a ton about, but did add actually a little benefit, is when you're on the highway, it keeps you in the higher gear.
Okay.
These older JKs only have a 4-speed transmission.
Yeah, because a 2010, you don't have the Pentastar engine like the 2012s and up. You've got the 3.8 liter engine, which is a little bit weaker in comparison, but you've made up for that with the 513 gears. Do you feel like you've got the power you need when you go, or would you change that again?
So if I were to do it again, I think I would have done 533s with this older Jeep. Definitely with the newer Jeeps with the Pentastar and the 5 or 6 speed transmission. 513 is going to be more.
But no issues in terms of getting up to freeway speeds, in terms of being able to crawl up any rocks you want, things like that, right?
Correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
it is definitely doable now. Made a huge difference than original.
What can you, with those 513 gears, what's your top speed on the freeway? Can you get up to, 75, 80 in some of the areas that you need to?
Oh yeah, easily. So when we're coming down from Salt Lake down to Moab, cruise at 80 miles an hour just fine. It's right around 3,000 RPM, so a little higher than ideal, but it rides just fine.
And has that affected your gas mileage at all?
So actually switching to 513 has improved gas mileage.
Really?
Because I'm actually able to use that higher overdrive, where lots of times before
you were
I'd always
pushing
constantly
it all the way?
shift down and be
Yeah.
driving at higher RPMs.
That makes sense. Well, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of mileage are you getting right now with this?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Okay. We'll have to
I would
calculate it
guess
next time we fill up.
Probably 15 to 17.
Okay, that's not bad. So what else have you done to the Jeep?
So biggest difference is going to be Falcon shocks. My old shocks wore out. Upgraded the Falcon 3.3s. Those made a huge difference.
Do you like those?
Love them. Yeah, definitely recommend.
What setting do you use when you go off-roading? What setting do you use, and how do you determine that?
So you're going to switch between the two. If you're on a dirt road with a lot of gravel and a lot of little bumps, switch into soft, smooths it out.
Okay, and that's a 1.
That's a 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so switch to a 1. If we're doing something where you got a lot of shelves and everything like that, you switch it to a 3, the stiffer, and it just catches. It keeps you from bouncing all
So
over
if the
the
Jeep
place.
were to, instead of being so soft, if it were to really slam down, it kind of stops that from slamming so hard and helps support it a little better.
Correct. And
Okay.
also when you're doing just kind of bouncing off it, when you're on the firmer setting, it keeps the Jeep from wobbling back and forth
Got
quite a
it.
bit as well.
Yeah, so you reduce some of that sway. That's nice. What else? So I noticed you got a lot of rock slide engineering stuff on there. Did you put that on, or did it came with it?
So it came with that. So the front rear bumpers, rock slide engineering. The rock sliders are rock slide engineering. I would like to upgrade to the power step. The rock slide makes
That's the one where you open the door and it pops a little step down, and then the kids and the wife can climb up in it.
Correct, but
And
it's
then
still a rock slider, so
Yeah.
you can still use it. Amp Research has one that's just a power step, but it's plastic, so if you were to hit it, it's just going to crumple.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, that's you've done a lot of stuff that works well, but it's also been functional, really functional. It's helped you do some pretty incredible off-roading, right?
correct, yeah. So every upgrade that I'm doing is more to improve the off-road capability than anything else.
Okay, but it is still your daily driver.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So it's still my daily driver. So there's
You've got a lot of lights here. Did you put those on, or is that something that came with it?
So that's something that I put on there. We do a fair amount of night riding,
Okay.
Or we used to. So the stock headlights were terrible on the JK. I think everyone knows that. So first thing I did is put the light bar and the 2 side lights. Made a huge difference. Just floods the trail with light. And then just fairly recently upgraded the headlights to
The headlights to the halos.
improve a little bit.
Yeah, those are nice. And then you've also got a pretty beefy roof rack here. Which roof rack is this?
So this is the AEV roof rack. So my wife and I, one of the things we want to do is to get out a little bit more, do a little bit more family trips. So we're getting into overlanding a little bit more. So put the AEV roof rack because it's, in my opinion, the most robust because it mounts right into the roll bar.
So you drill through your hard top and then into the roll bars, and then that secures it. Does that make it so you can never take your hard top off?
So it makes it so you're less likely to take it off.
Okay.
It's going to be a significant amount more work because you've got to unbolt it from the inside, remove the roof rack, and then you can take the top off.
So you still could if you wanted to.
You still have the capability to do so. It's just improve or dramatically increases the amount of work to do. So less likely to do it, but I can still take the two front freedom panels off.
Sure.
Nice and easy.
Now, you mentioned overlanding. Is a rooftop tent in your future?
Rooftop tent is definitely in the future.
Have you picked the one you want?
We haven't finalized anything yet, but the one I'm looking for, I believe, is called the Sky Camp. It's just a little bit, I don't know, I want a hard top just because it's going to be on the daily driver most of the time. I'm probably not going to take it on and off, so I want the hard shell case.
Hey, Nate. All right, anything else? Any other improvements you've made to the Jeep that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, a couple, just while we're up front, upgrade the tie rod and drag link to the metal cloak. I like the looks of those.
The metal cloak, so you did the ones with the zinc gold chromate on them?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so
how hard of an install was that?
Very easy. Yeah. Definitely a garage install. You need a couple tools.
Do you feel like it made an improvement in the Jeep, or it's just more of a peace of mind thing?
A little bit of both. It's hard to say because my old ones were stock, had worn out, upgraded to a heavy duty system, so dramatically notice difference over something that's worn out.
Yeah.
But it also gives a peace of mind that it's not going to rust. It's going to hold up to what we do because this Jeep gets abused.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you on the trails, and you are not shy at all about it, taking any obstacle. It's awesome to see some of the stuff you tackle. I look at it and say, well, there's no way I'm going to do that, and then here comes Andrew, right up the hill. So you've done a good job with it. What's your favorite part of the Jeep? What's the favorite upgrade or addition or aspect of it?
Favorite that I would say noticeable on the daily side is going to be the Falcon shocks.
Okay.
Just because those dramatically improve comfortable, just adjustability. I would say the other thing that we use a lot, especially on a day-to-day basis, going to the grocery store or anything like that, is in the back I started a drawer slide, and everything from just loading it full of groceries, putting the cooler in, whatever, makes it a lot easier to be able to access everything. And then while we're out here, load everything up, strap it down, and have full access to everything.
Show us that drawer slide. I want to see that. What's the brand on that drawer slide?
So Front Runner is what I went with.
Front Runner. Got it. And did you put that in?
And I put that in.
Was that a hard install, or did it bolt into factory things, or did you have to put nutserts in?
So it was a little bit time consuming. I wouldn't say it was difficult.
Okay.
But for the most part, it bolts into factory locations.
Okay.
There are 2 holes that you have to drill for it.
Okay. So this is it, and then you got another shelf up here too.
Yeah, so I installed the shelf as well. This is also Front Runner.
Okay.
Makes it nice and easy, so plenty of cargo space.
Yeah, you've got lots of space here. This is great.
And then with the Front Runner, just 2 latches, you push down, and it
slides out.
Right out.
Wow.
I've got the cooler locked down, so that stays in place.
Do you think your kids would ever climb back there and you wouldn't know it and smash them when you close it?
I'm pretty sure they would make it a little bit of noise when I did so.
Yeah, I think so. This is great. So you got a lifetime cooler here. You strap that down. Any aspirations for a fridge in the future?
We've debated a fridge, but for the price benefit, I don't think we're going to do anytime soon. Once we start getting out for like a week-long trips, then we may upgrade. But for right now, throw some ice in there. Lasts 4 days. Never had a problem.
Great. That's great. Well, Andrew is a great looking Jeep, and it performs really well off-road. So thanks for sharing.
Thank you very much.